Hey, this your girl, msyelladiva. I am bringing you another episode of The Shy, Season 7, Episode 11. Ready or not? Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. If you're new here, welcome, 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 welcome. We do movie reviews here, okay? And if you're returning, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. All right, we family here. Give me a thumbs up, like and share and comment and subscribe to my channel, and we will begin. All right, ready or not? Okay, I'm gonna stop. So Bakari and Alicia. All right, so Bakari don't want to end up on another episode of Buried in My Backyard. He tells Alicia that Zay killed Rob because that's what Nook told him. Okay. And she said, I didn't see him kill Rob. That's what Nook told him. And so then she said, well, are you willing to die for Nook? And she said, and Bakari didn't answer. And so because he didn't answer, she knows the answer. Okay. Anyway, so Reg sets a gun on the table, okay, right in front of Hannibal, and pointed to him. And he said, that hit in that jewelry store. If I had been there, I would have been locked up by now. And he said somebody tried to set me up. And so he said, tell everybody to come through because I want to look into everybody's eyes. Okay. Detective Toussaint, okay, is mad at Nook for that bad intel. So she said, okay, I ain't messing with Nook. I'm going to Alicia. She get a picture of Candice, and she said, this is Red's girlfriend. I call her street booty, but this is Red's girlfriend. And she said she worked at a cell phone store. So go and try to talk to her, so you can get some intel on Reg. Okay. But like I said, I call her street booty because once she just with Dante, okay, okay, and she was flirting with Red right there in front of Dante, street booty, okay, all right. Oh, Bakari talks to Lene. Lene always has a fucking attitude, okay? I mean, her face be turned up every time. And she's so pretty, but her face be turned up, okay? So she got attitude still with Bakari, okay? But Bakari's telling her that Alicia knows that I know who killed her son. And so Lene was like, wasn't it Zay? And she said, Bakari said, I can't say. And she was like, see, you always choosing the street over me. You always try and hide stuff from me. And he was like, but if I tell you, you can't say nothing. And so he said, Nook killed Rob. And so she was just like, oh. And so she was like, well, who gonna tell Tiff? And he said, not you. You trying to get me killed, okay? You can't tell nobody. You listen, you either gonna be in or you gonna be out. Okay? It ain't no half and half. You gonna be in or you gonna be out. Okay? So I'm gonna tell you everything, and you gotta keep it with guarded with your life. Or you don't need to know nothing. Nothing. Okay? You can't have it both ways, sister girl. You can't have it both ways. So, no, you can't tell Tiff. He said, you promise. And and she said, I promise. So, Damien is jackrabbiting. Literally jackrabbiting Zuri. Okay. He just banging her. I was like, golly. I said, her hips probably hurt. He was doing that to her in her bathroom too. Her hips are probably hurt. You can't do that no smoother than that. You can't do that no smoother than that. Anyway, so he forget to pick up Ronnie. Why do they even entrust you with anything, okay? You done already broke Hannibal's rules. You done stole from him already, okay? You done stole from Emmett, you know. Now you forgetting to pick up Lil Ronnie. Why do they even trust you to do anything? Okay, you is a bad omen on this whole cast. Tell Darnell he need to take you back where he got you from. Okay. Anyway, so Ronnie over there crying at the daycare, and he over here trying to break this little girl back. Cause she ain't no bigger than a minute, okay? So Keisha knocking on the door. And so he like get under the bed. And so she get under the bed, he sprays some Febreze. And then Keisha was like, who you talking to? Who you talking to? And so then she finds some panties on the floor. And she was like, come on out. Come on out. And so she was like, I'm Keisha. She was like, I'm Siri. And so then she was like, okay. Then she leaves. She was like, this we got some Smokies in here if you were hungry. She was like, yes, I am. Okay, Keisha. I guess that was you. That was you, because I think you and Emmett got caught. You and Emmett got caught. Yeah. So that was you. So I guess you feeling sorry for her. Okay, whatever. Charles want to be co-pastor at Pastor Zeke's church. Okay. Pastor Zeke was like, listen, you won't have to, get right with these women, okay? Now you need to find you a good woman to settle down. And he was like, I'm just waiting for the right one. He was like, you waiting for perfection, and she ain't coming, so you gonna have to do something else. And so he was like, she was like, what he said? He said, just slow down and be careful who you spend your time with. That what Pastor Zeke say, okay? Jada and the sister circle meeting, everybody trying to ask her, you ain't gonna do chemo? She was like, nope, I ain't gonna do chemo. She said, well, if you change your diet, you can prolong it. She was like, nope, I ain't doing that either. She was like, I have accepted it. I accepted this cancer diagnosis, and that's gonna be it. Jamal and Dom. Dom don't want to have kids, don't want to share a bank account, and don't want to give up her toys. Nobody cares.
Don't care, don't care, don't care, still don't care. I don't care, I don't care.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So what? Okay, moving on. Reg is... He Nino Brown right now, okay? Nino Brown, okay? He want to know who set him up, okay? Who set him up? Was it you light skin over there? I'm over here on New Jack City. Didn't Nino Brown say Christopher Williams did it? But Alan Payne light skin too. What was his name in New Jack City? I don't forgot his name. But anyway, he acting like he Nino Brown, so he trying to find out who tried to set him up. So he Um, I put who I said he trying to find out who dropped the dime on him. Okay, that's what they said. Who dropped the dime on him? He asked Keith. Keith was like, "Was it you?" And he was like, "No, I was chilling with Shad." And he was like, "Shad, Alicia's man or whatever." And he was like, "Yeah." And so then he asked uh who else? He asked Angie. Angie was like, listen, me and Hannibal, I cooked dinner and we fell asleep. Uh, then he asked, Reg asked, he said, "Ain't you supposed to be locked up?" And he said, "No, we got let go because he was like, yeah, because you weren't me." But I'm thinking to myself, that was still breaking and entering. Even though the robbery was full, but they broke a lot of stuff in there. Ain't that breaking and entering still? They should still be locked up. Okay. Even if they didn't get red, they probably could, probably lessen their sentence for them to turn on red or whatever. But they should still be locked up. That's breaking and entering. Um, what else? And so then later on, he asked Candice. He said, can you work for me? He said, because I don't trust anybody else but you. I don't trust none of these other folks because uh somebody dropped dime on me. So only person I can trust is you. Can you be the lookout? I did that. He done kick Jackie to the curb too. Jackie was the one she the shooter. Dang, whatever. Um, Hannibal goes to church with Angie, and Angie and Charles actually go way back. She gave him a hug and everything like that. Hannibal looking at him like crazy. And so Hannibal was like, don't be hugging my wife, Charles. And then Angie was like, he used to date my sister. And so, but since they broke up, she has him blocked on whatever social media. And so, so Hannah was like, "Dad, what you do to her?" And so he was like, being a player from the Himalayas. So, but he did say she was the one that got away. Who is Angie's sister? Now maybe we'll find out because I think the next episode is the season finale, so maybe we'll find out in the next episode. Because Angie keep talking about her sister, and nobody can figure out who her sister is. Okay, because I honestly thought her sister was Candice, but apparently not. Okay, so then they said, it was Jackie, but Jackie, is a shooter. Okay, and it definitely ain't Shanita. Shanita, is on the other side. She don't even like men like that. Uh, I don't know who her sister could be. I don't know. So now I guess we'll see. Um, what else we got going on here? Um, so Darnell tells Emmett that they're gonna throw a funeral for Jada. Um, and so Riley, I'm sorry. Riley tells Darnell that they should throw a funeral for Jada because she didn't get a chance to throw a funeral for her husband before he passed away, and she felt like she should have did that for him. And okay, so yeah, I skipped that part. Sorry. Then Darnell tells Emmett that they're gonna throw a funeral for before Jada. You know, while she is on present on this earth. And so Emmett's like, well, where did you get this from? And so Darnell was like, a new friend. And he said, who? And he said, this lady I met in the support group. He said, you already seeing somebody, else? Mom's still alive. And he said, shut the hell up. He said, I am not. She said her husband went through the same thing. And he said, and I can't think about anybody else when the love of my life is suffering. That's right. That is right. Okay. That when the love of my life is suffering, listen, I can't think about anybody else. So Bakari thinks Alicia gonna kill him. Okay. And because she because he threw up in front of the house, and so she knows who killed her son. Nook was like, he said, you ain't even fit to be my number two. And he said, good, because he said, because I ain't want to be your number two anyway. You put me there. And he said, well, you don't even have a choice anyway. So what you fussing for? Either he fit or he ain't fit. He probably ain't fit, but you ain't got no other number two because you done killed Zay. So you ain't got another number two anyway. So shut up, Nook. So Bakari, Papa, and Jake. I'm about to say Jake. Go to a billboard that said "Join the Army," and so this is a scene from Boys in the Hood where Furious Styles, and I did not know his first name was Jason, but Furious Styles was standing up in front of the gentrification sign, as you know, because they were talking about that all of the inner cities are being gentrified, and then Ricky and what was his name? What? Oh God. Cuba Gooding Jr. What was the boy's name in Boys in the Hood? Oh, I really forgot his name. Well, I know Ricky's name. Okay, that was Morris Chestnut, but Cuba Gooding Jr. I forgot what his name was. Anyway, so Bakari, Papa, and Jake is standing in front of Join the Army sign, and who was the Furious Styles of this episode? Professor Gardner, aka Dwayne Wayne. So he said, just like the Boys in the Hood, a lot of people walk up to hear what Professor Gardner is talking to the boys, and so and Professor Gardner said, society wants you locked up, and they rather you not in my classroom. They will rather have you locked up and not in my classroom. And then Bakari was like, Alicia pulled my scholarship. He's like, really? He said, man. He said, well, I'll have a talk with her. And Bakari was like, no. He said, he said I should just concentrate on my book. He said, yeah, you should. So then Papa was like, well, that's why I stay in the church. He said, yeah, I got you. He got you. He said, well, don't stay in the church too long, okay? Unless you're going to be a pastor like your daddy, okay? Then you got to stay in the church all the time. But, yeah, it was a good point in that. But they never said don't join the army, though. They never really, pointed that out. Like, don't join the service. This is the white man's service, okay? But they did talk about just getting a higher education, okay? And so, that don't stay too long. Okay, so Jamal goes to Pastor Zeke, and he wants to talk about Dom, and so he tell him that he caught her using a toy, and Pastor Zeke was like, "Okay, did you join him? I mean, did you join her?" And he was like, "No." He said, "Well, next time join in, have some fun." And he was like, Jamal was like, "I didn't expect you to be saying that." He was like, "What do you expect me to say?" He said, "You married. You can have as much fun as you want with your partner. So, next time join in and have some fun. Okay? Leave him alone. Leave me alone. I'm trying to win my wife back." Anyway, so Pastor Zeke go on Papa's podcast as well. He said the demise of his first marriage was he put the church first, and and Kenya started looking for, and then his daughter started, because he wasn't in the home as much. She started looking for him and other men, and then she started going down the wrong path and hanging out the wrong crowd. But he said, "I didn't judge her, I just listened to her." So Papa asked about Tatiana, and he said, I just wanted a trophy." And so he said, but her being quiet led me to having relations with my white secretary, Becky, and her cheating with Jake, the child. Yeah. So then Papa was like, "Is it true that you and your ex-wife is trying to reconcile?" And he was like, "We trying to get reacquainted." And so Papa was like, She a black woman, ain't she?" And he was like, "Yeah." And so Zeke was like, "She's, my true love. I will never forsake her or disappoint her and things like that." But Carolyn ain't too happy about him putting all their business out on Front Street like he did. Oh well. So back to Boys in the Hood. So Bakari and Jake are walking, and of course Bakari got some scratch offs, right? Okay. Just like Boys in the Hood, okay? And so a red Mercedes is following them, okay? And so then they take off running. And so they take off running down this alley, and then they say, we gonna split up. So they split up. Jake going one way, Bakari going the other way. Then the red Mercedes comes and cuts off the alley. The window rolls down. Bakari swings around and starts to run and gets shot just like Ricky. Ricky! Yeah. But Jake was like, "Bakari!" Yeah. And so, but it was a dream. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, it was a dream, and it's not real. Okay. Bakari just woke up and was like, "Oh, whew, okay." Shad takes Nora to Smokies. She okay with it. She said, "I don't need a lobster dinner or anything like that." Okay. Shad said, what does he say? He said, "I'm just a broke guy, just got out of prison, struggling to make ends meet." And then Nora was like, well, I like making candles, but they don't pay all my bills and stuff. So he was like, can we be, so we can be broke together? She was like, no, we could be happy together, but we can't be broke together. I don't know if you want to, I don't even know if you want to go down that road, Nora. I think you should run, girl. Run, you too pretty for that, honey. You too pretty for that. Go on and run, girl. And you older too, because he like them old women. Just run. Just run, child, run, because that's not it. So they got the celebration of life. Jake said he want a solid gold casket, and Papa said that's tacky. Jada old flame Suede came. Ooh, he was looking good too. But he paid his last respects. She was like, yeah, she said she's trying to introduce him to Darnell. He was like, yeah, I know who he is. um, so everybody comes and they say what they need to say to Jada. And then Emmett broke down. Boy, he broke down. I start crying. My niece started crying. Everybody started crying. He broke down. So Darnell had to read his letter, and it ended like, until I see you on the other side, and I start crying. I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, and then everybody said, you don't get your flowers until after you pass away, but we're gonna give you your flowers right now. And so everybody brought her a yellow rose. That was beautiful too. So Jada and Emmett are smoking some herb, smoking a blunt on the back porch. And so she said, I'm proud of you. And she said, you've came a long way. But Jada told Emmett that she wants him and Keisha to move out of the Chicago because it's dangerous in Chicago. Okay. So Keisha and Emmett come home, and Zuri is in there coloring with Ronnie, and the house is clean. And Damien is on the couch sleeping. Okay. So since Emmett is reformed, they're going to hire her as the new nanny. And then Damien wakes up and they tell him that, they're going to hire her as the new nanny. And so, Damien was like, and you think that's smart? And so Keisha was like, why? You ain't crazy, are you? She was like, no, I'm just a free spirit. And so Emma was like, listen, you can be as free as you want to be as long as you don't hurt my pockets and as long as the kids is okay. No, she can't. Because what if she a free spirit? What if she want to walk around the house naked with the kids around? And you, okay? No, you can't put that out there. Okay, you can't put that out there. You can be free as you want. No, you can't. No, you can't. Within limits, baby. Within limits. Okay. We're gonna have to set up some ground rules. Just like you set up some ground rules with Damien, you're gonna have to set up some ground rules with her too. Okay. But so Tiff, water breaks at the cigar lounge. So, Victor has to be in his Black Knight role, okay? He got to be Superman, okay? Get her to the hospital, be by her side and all that other stuff. Yeah, that's what he got to do. So Reg has Candice look out while he break into somebody's house, okay? And so she sends a text to Alicia, aka Terry, because Alicia told her name was Terry. So she texts Terry, aka Alicia, that she said, it's late, what's going on? And she said, I'm scared. And she was like, well, where are you? And that's where it ended. Okay, so I think the next episode is the season finale. So hopefully Jada wake up. Okay, because Jada went to sleep. We don't know if she's gonna wake up at the end of this on the next episode. That's the first and foremost. We gotta figure out who is Angie's sister on this season finale. We gotta see if Zuri walk around naked. And we got to see if Candice gives this location to Alicia, and Alicia comes and uh and she gives the information to Detective Toussaint, and maybe they can arrest Reg. And what else we got to figure out? Okay. Uh yeah, I think that's it. I don't. Oh, and we got to figure out um if Tiff has her baby. Okay, so we got all that stuff to end with this season finale. Okay, so give me a thumbs up, like and share and comment and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.